Well, thank you so much, Bobby. We'll see you in just a bit. But first and foremost, I want to let you know our Clean Machine AstroTurf set of 2 doormats, they are all back in stock by popular demand in every color. Tim Wilkins is still with us. He's going to make a big old mess and show you just how phenomenal these are. Muddy paw prints, muddy footprints, snowy, dirty, wet weather. These are the solution to keep the inside of your home looking clean and phenomenal. Now, I purchased these. I absolutely love them. I have one at the front door, one at the back door. I think I've even gotten the dogs to learn to do this when they get to them. But there's an incredible design built into these that really does take the mud, the dirt, the debris off the bottoms of your feet before you go back into the home. And they're not moldy or mildewy or smelly at all, but they come in those great classic designs that we all love for doormats. So what we're doing today as our special is 2 flexible payments only available for today. We are paying the shipping and handling on these wild customer picks. Almost 500 rave reviews are in on them, and we have them available in 6 colors. Now we're going to start pouring a ton of dirt on them, but before we do that, so many of you love these, I want to make sure you get a chance to see our colors. So I'm just going to step and walk through. This right here is charcoal. Next to that one, black cherry. As I continue to move along, this one we're calling Black Forest. It's black and tan. When I step back, we have our Desert Taupe, which is our brown-themed ones. Then we've got the Arctic Gray, a little bit lighter, kind of charcoal and light gray. And finally here, we have our Pine Green. So those are your colors to choose from today. Everybody gets 2, the striped and the classic solid frame design. And now, my good friend Tim.
Now it's time for the magic, my friends.
Yes, show you why these are the game changers.
Mats are not just about their pretty colors and designs.
Yep.
These are about one thing, the fact that they do their job. The mats that we have or have had for years are not doing their job. The mats are not just to clean your shoes off, although these do it better than any other mats. Your mats that you have now are not stopping dirt at the door like these. Here's the boot. It got up into that deep grooved snow boot that's going to be covered in muck in about 6 weeks. And what you didn't see is when I cleaned that off, there was already 5 pounds of dirt down inside this mat that was not coming inside your house. And what that means to you is less mopping, less sweeping, less dusting and vacuuming, less work you have to do because we're stopping dirt at the door. Now, when this comes in, 80% of the dirt, dust, and grime that comes into your house comes across your threshold, on the feet of yourselves, your friends, your guests, or your animals, and this is tearing up the hardwood floors, acting like a pumice or an exfoliant. It's tearing up the grout in between your tile, and it's acting like little scissors to chop up your carpet. Not having this in your house is going to save you a lot of time and a lot of money over the long run.
Oh my goodness, I mean, shampooing your carpets after one muddy paw print comes in, you've already paid for that. This really is, it's a phenomenal product. It doesn't carry or hold on to moisture at all, and I just have to give everybody a heads up. First of all, our cherry color, our black cherry, I have 100 left that will sell out this hour if you want that color. And then we have an extra large sized mat if you have a back area of the house that you want this for. I have 50 remaining and they're being offered at $10 off today. This is so big. Look at how big this is. Yeah, I'm dirty, top, right, left, front, and center.
They just asked me to show how the dirt disappears.
Please don't pour some dirt on me. The information is on your screen. They're $10 off. They're an extra large size. They have a great key design. I'm showing them to you really quickly because there's only 50 left in the cherry or in the pine. So
now let's get back to business,
okay.
Brett.
Yes.
This is what the mistake that we've all been making is having mats that simply don't do their job. This is the standard mat. I've had one of these myself for years until I got all my clean machines. This is about a teaspoon of dirt. Look at that. The bad thing about this is even if it comes off your shoes, the next shoe that came along that may have even been clean is going to pick that up and carry that in the house. The dog's paws are going to carry that in. This next design is, we call these the scroll mats. They've got the beautiful scroll design, the cocoa fibers. These can be expensive. There's a tablespoon right there, and that is a camp-out spot for the dirt that's going to get in our house. This next one should very well say, welcome to our dirty home. Let's put that same tablespoon right there, not even a full tablespoon, and those cocoa fibers that are here, these expensive mats, are not swallowing up this dirt like ours will. That next shoe that comes in, that next barefoot, that next paw foot comes in, that's coming in the house.
Not to mention all those hold moisture and water. They start to stain, they start to smell, they start to create more mess even when you walk past them with clean shoes.
Now there's a reason, and people always say, hey, that's a magic trick you did to start the show. I want to show you by filling up a mat from scratch how this just just swallows this 5 pounds of dirt. I'm just going to really fill this up. People ask, well, there's a hole or a trap door or something under there. But there's a reason that hundreds of people have gone on hsn.com to rave about a doormat, to say this is the best mat. And people have bought them years and years. They hold their color. You'll see reviewers on there. We had ours for 9 or 10 or 13 years, and we had to buy new ones for another door or a vacation property. Let's really load this up. And they buy new ones, but over the 9, 10, 15 years, they hold their vibrant greens and reds and grays. All right, really loading this up. I want to show you again with the boot as well.
Every time I think he's done, he just keeps on pouring and pouring.
I want to show you, as I'm doing this, you don't see any of the dirt until and it settles back in so that you're not tracking it in on your feet or anyone else's. And there's a magic to this as well, how they scrape off your feet. These are active cleaning fibers. They're actually working their way up into your heavy-duty shoes and boots and cleats. This is a good work boot right here. And this is the kind we're going to be wearing for the next few months in about 80% of the country, with deep grooves that are going to hold snow and mud and muck. And these are going to get up in there. But you don't even have to scrape it back and forth, because as soon as you step on them, those fibers work their way up in and start acting like little scrub brushes for your feet. Now, you saw me do that, and you also saw the 5 pounds of dirt that was hidden down inside there.
You know, I start to think about the fact that a lot of us don't have mats at our garage door, but that's where we're coming in and out of our homes every single day. Your back door, where you take the pets out to go really quickly at the end of the day or night. You know, this is the way. First of all, you're getting 2 of them for just over $20 a piece, and with FlexPay, you're really only paying for one right now. But think about every single entrance point to your home and protecting the biggest piece of real estate that's inside your home, which is your floors, your wall-to-wall carpets, and you know, your hardwood floors that get damaged by dirt and mud. You know, this is an incredible solution to a problem that we're all faced with. There's no question about it. And the current choices out there in the marketplace, they don't solve the problem. We load up 7 different mats. They simply hold the stain. They need to be cleaned in the long run. They're just not delivering the types of results that, take a look here, what the Clean Machine mats will do for you. So today, pick up your set of 2. Everybody gets the classic frame design and the stripe design. All you're doing is selecting your color. Now, I know there's a lot of choices right here, so very, very quickly, just follow my feet. Desert Taupe, Arctic Gray, Pine Green. Up here, we've got charcoal. Last and final call on black cherry. I just have a few dozen of those still remaining. And then this one we call black forest. You get your set of 2, you get your classic design and your striped, both of them with Flex for today and free shipping as well.
Here's another solution we're solving for many people that don't know they even have a problem. Look at the size mat they've been selling us for years for a 3-foot threshold, a 3-foot doorway. This is a postage-size solution to an envelope-size problem. And this right here is the solution, getting a mat that not only does its job, but actually covers your entire threshold. And then the thing about these mats, again, the only way these don't work and they don't do their job is if you step over them. Because as soon as you step on them, the active cleaning fibers are getting up in your shoes, getting up inside the paws of the animals. Like you said, I had one in front of my litter box for a while that was for the cat.
Yeah, they're great in front of the litter box.
And the kid moved out, and now there's no cat. Yeah. So I'm trying to think of how best to say that.
Well,
there's no son anymore with a cat in the house, so now the Clean Machine mat went with it. I also have one in my trunk for my golf shoes. So he took the mat and the cat.
That's a really good idea.
It's like a bow and go. Yeah. I keep this in the trunk to get up inside the golf shoes, deep inside those cleats, and get the golf shoes off, because once you get the dirt inside your car, it's not coming out of your floor mats.
And you know, I love that you mentioned about rental properties. You know, if you own a property, how often do you end up having to replace the carpet, deep shampoo the carpeting, steam clean, worry about damage that's done to your floors by tenants and pets? You know, just set these up. Balcony doorways, front doorways, side doorways. You will help preserve the life of that floor for a really long time and do a ton less cleanup.
Okay, I want to show you again, just for the sake of reminding everybody, where the mats we've had have not been doing the job that they were meant to do, with just a quick teaspoon. I mean, just look at this tiny little bit here. Look at the mess that this is going to leave, and this is going to come in. Without this in your house, By stopping the dirt at the door, it means less vacuuming, less mopping, less sweeping, less dusting. A lot of the dust we're making as well, a lot of the dusting we're doing is from being brought in through the house over the threshold on your feet. All right, the cocoa fiber mat again. Now, the better cocoa fiber mat that we spent big money for to welcome people to our soon-to-be dirty home. This is coming in on the next feet and the next feet. It might be rubbing off on yours, but it's coming in on somebody's sometime. Now let's fill up another mat, and one of my absolute favorite things to show you is the cocoa fiber mat. After we've loaded up our mat, how it simply does not even come close to holding the pounds and pounds of dirt, dust, and grime that the Clean Machine mat can stop at the door and keep from getting in your house.
And he just keeps going and going and going. Every single time you think he's going to stop, he grabs another scoopful. You've got about 20 seconds, my friend.
Okay,
so
you
scoop
ready?
away, pour away, and then show him the magic.
You want to see the magic? Here it is right here. This is that expensive cocoa fiber mat we just had to have. We went to the big box improvement store, and it simply does not hold. Look at the disappearing act now. I didn't even fill our mat, and the cocoa fiber mat is gone. You want a mat that's going to do its job and stop dirt at the door. This is the one right here.
Well, this is truly like the spirit of improvements. You know, a perfect solution to a problem we've all had a mediocre choice for in the past. Great price. You're getting your 2 full size today on FlexPay.